All right. Premium account on X is required to create live broadcasts. Please upgrade to a premium subscription on X.
We're live.
Oh, okay. So
So you have to have a blue check mark.
yeah, yeah, I have to have a blue check mark. So that didn't work. All right,
Boo.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So it's Fright Night with Ferocious Fee, and I have Fuzzy here, and I have Presto, and I have Sadie. So we were trying to go live on Twitter, but we realized that we have to have a premium account. So I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. We'll figure it out. So let's do intros. Who wants to go first?
Not me.
I'll go first. So let's see. I had a birthday over the weekend. I turned 39. Went
Catching
axe
up to me.
I
Happy
am.
birthday.
Thank you. We went axe throwing, and then we went to this awesome place called Dark Spirits in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So there was a guy that used to be in the band Motionless in White. Motionless in White is a metal band from Scranton. They're pretty big. There used to be a keyboardist in the band, and he left the band. And now he kind of has his hands in everything. He has part ownership in this Parlor Beverages. They make root beer, birch beer, butterscotch beer. It's amazing. But unfortunately, you can only get it up that way or order it online as of now. He also has an oddity shop that's a pretty cool shop in Kingston, which is by Scranton. And then recently he bought the Ritz Theater, which they show concerts, movies at. But inside this Ritz Theater, they have this restaurant, they have an ice cream place, a tattoo studio, and a hairstyles place. And it's like a gothic themed restaurant. So like I had mac and cheese and it came in a skeleton skull. I had these like they look like garlic knots filled with cheese, but they look like skulls. And they had like a syringe with marinara that you like inject it into the skull. So it's very gothic themed. I had a drink called the Reanimator. It came out with a glow stick and smoke, like the movie Reanimator. So if any of you guys are up in that area, I highly suggest it. It's a small place, so I suggest making reservations. But it's definitely a cool place to check out.
Yeah, I saw the pictures that you posted. They look really cool.
Yeah, I definitely can't wait to go back. And the ice cream place is like kind of fits the theme too. Like they'll have like a Freddy Krueger one where it's like ice cream but with some spicy Cheetos topped with like jalapenos. So like it's different food, but it's really good and not badly priced either for the food.
Nice.
Yeah, food is expensive now when you go out.
Yeah, not bad at all, and the quality is really good. We had Bonefish Friday, and it was like, all right, I had steak with chimichurri, and it was good. But then when I went to this restaurant, it was like, whoa, you could tell like the mac and cheese sauce is like made from scratch, and it's not like Easy Mac out of a box or something. So definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
All right, good. Yeah, but you're catching up to me. Still far away.
It was bound to happen.
All right, who's next? Who wants to go next? We'll take volunteers.
You go ahead.
All right, Fuzzy.
That.
Right. Well, I didn't really do much other than pick up my Nintendo Switch 2 the other night. Midnight launch. Wasn't as busy as I was expecting, but it was fairly busy for the area. I mean, like we're in Amish country, so there was like 20 people. Saw stuff online where there was like 300 people at Best Buy and stuff like that. So definitely a more milder midnight launch. There were a few people that had to show up at the 3 p.m. to get the sticker on the receipt, and they were not about that midnight life. As far as I guess they're in their senior years, so they were like, "Oh, I'll just come and pick up the next day," kind of thing. So they bounced out of line and stuff like that. So they're probably picking it up the following day or whatnot. But first Nintendo product I bought for myself. Bought some for the kids a while back, like their Game Boy or uh, the DS and stuff like that. Even bought one like the mini SNES and stuff. But when I asked them if they wanted the Switch, they said no. And then one of them wound up buying a Switch on his own kind of thing later. But
He could have got a free Switch from you, and he decided to buy one on his own.
yeah,
Kids are weird.
I mean, I would like a Switch. Just saying.
I'm
Fuzzy.
I'm out of buying Switches as gifts kind of thing, especially with the Switch 2. It's not hard to come by like the Wii was back in the day, but it is going to be a harder to come by item just because people are going to probably try to scalp them once they can figure out a way to not have the Nintendo lawyers show up at their doorstep kind of thing. But it's Nintendo. I grew up a Sega kid, so I'll enjoy it. It's just that it's not my normal gaming device. But outside of gaming, not really doing much other than getting ready for this weekend. Going out to Columbus, Ohio. Fee's got something that I'm pretty sure she'll talk about when she does her intro and things like that. But just glad to be here with you guys. Had a bit of a break in between. This movie dropped. I really liked it, so can't wait to get into talking about it. But just glad to be here with you guys. And man, this is for gamers. This is like gamer Christmas this week coming up. There's game shows from all the platforms and for PC and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like Christmas Eve for us kind of thing. But yeah, enough of rambling about gaming. Who's next?
I did see some people, GameStops in Long Island, I think it was. The workers were stapling the receipts to the box, and it was actually stapling on the screen of the Switch, and people were getting pissed off about that.
Oh yeah. Well, luckily GameStop corporate stepped up and they're doing replacements for those customers. I don't know. Like all the other places had like stickers that they put for like their retail sale thing, and they wrote numbers on that, so you didn't have to have a what do you call them, a receipt stapled to the box. Like the store I went to was a GameStop as well. They just put the receipt in the bag. They had like if you ordered the bundle with the carrying case and stuff, they had the receipt to match in the bag, and you just brought your numbered receipt to the line or to the counter, and they matched up the bag that way. Stapling into the box, especially like a lot of stores usually look inside the box and put like a security thing on it. They should have known better than the staple on the screen, or they should have just known better not to staple the box, because some people like to have the box pristine in case they do, scalp it or resell it later kind of thing, or for display purposes they want to have a pristine box. So
They
it was
don't
kind of silly.
care.
Gamers,
Whoa.
most of us
No, I'm not
care,
talking
but
about the gamers. I'm
the
talking
store
about the
employees.
salespeople don't care.
Well, yeah, but they should be gamers if they're working at a GameStop. I mean, if you're not a gamer and you're working at GameStop,
I get that, but here's the problem. Most of them probably can't afford it, and they're jealous a little bit. Come on now.
no, they get a discount and first
They're not
crack
going
at
to
some of
ruin
the
it on
stuff.
purpose.
Yeah, that could be a thing where they were doing it on purpose so they could get these, on the extra cheap as slightly used returns or something. But
See?
that's man, that's awfully devious. And to do that in Long Island or New York in general, man, New Yorkers, we built different. So I can only imagine some of them people got
New
spit and
Yorkers.
yelled in their face and all that stuff. So I wouldn't want to risk that for getting something on the cheap that way. But
If only you could be like Cypher and just play Balatro all the time. I mean, wouldn't have to worry about staples.
yeah, this is true. Shout out to Cypher. He's going to be on his month vacation, so he's enjoying the state of Florida. So yeah, be on the lookout for Cypher.
He better watch some brain eating amoebas.
or face eating zombies or bath salt zombies.
You never trust them face eating zombies either. Telling you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the safe stuff. You can just imagine everybody else down there.
Hmm.
Yeah, they don't use turn signals.
Well, the first time I drove to Florida, they drove quite a bit faster than what I was expecting. Like I normally like back. Well, now I drive like an old man, but back in the day, 55 meant 70, 75. They were doing 85 plus. Like even the trucks were like zooming by like at what felt like triple digits to my 75 kind of thing. So yeah, they don't have vehicle inspection, so wheels and other parts tend to fly off those vehicles on some of the older ones. So if you see an older vehicle that doesn't look like it's been kept up, yeah, it's probably a moving hazard kind of thing or a speed
If
bump.
if
So
Final Destination would happen in real life, it'd be in Florida.
probably. Probably.
Yep.
Yeah,
So you always gotta talk about gaming. I know.
yeah.
I know. Yeah. Fuzzy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not doing podcasts, like I was before because everybody wants to take a break." Yeah, that lasted about 2 weeks.
It was like a month. I mean,
No, it was about 2 weeks.
yeah.
It was about 2 weeks.
Damn, what did you do that she's hating on you today?
I don't know.
Poor guy just wants to play the Switch too and be left alone.
Anyway, all right, it's your turn, Sadie.
My life hasn't been as interesting as your guys's lately. Definitely not playing any video games, not waiting in line to, yeah, my kid wants a new one, but he might have to wait a minute. Um, let's see. I didn't do anything really since the last time we did the other podcast. Let's see. My brother got married.
Oh,
So,
That's
nice.
exciting.
yeah, my oldest brother, one we never thought would get married. So, yeah, that was fun. That was last Saturday. Other than that, I've just been working, but I have vacation coming up in like 2 weeks. So, we're gonna go to Ocean City for a couple of days. Me and the kids are ready for that. My daughter's birthday was on Wednesday. She turned 9. So, I mean, we went out to eat, but we're gonna actually like celebrate when we go in Ocean City.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever she wants to do. She likes the little everything on the boardwalk pretty much. She like I said, she's 9. She don't care what we do. The arcade and all that stuff. So the little amusement parks and that. My sister's gonna come with us and she's gonna bring her kids, so pretty much a whole family vacation. But
Yeah, that's what I used to do with my mom and stuff. Was go down to Wildwood, not Ocean City, but Wildwood, and we would just go on the pier, and sometimes we go on the rides. It depends on what she had saved up and stuff like that. So yeah, single mom.
yeah, we definitely well, my kids we usually do something like just with them.
I think we lost you. Did we lose
Oh,
her?
I think the signal may have muted her or something.
Well,
Mm.
Hopefully
sounds what
Okay.
you're up to, Fee.
Anyway, while we're waiting, so it is the end of the school year, and I have gotten all my finals done,
Woohoo.
and for the kids and everything like that, and cleaning up the classroom. Almost done with that. We are going away to Ohio, but I'll have more details when we come back because I kind of don't know what's going on as of yet. I just know we're going up there, and we're supposed to be hanging around at night. That's about it. So yeah, but I mean, there's also the world premiere of Grind in August, August 9th in Pittsburgh at the Lamp Theater. We're going to be going up there for the weekends. Saturday at 7, I believe it is when it starts. Tickets are still available if you want to go to the Lamp Theater site. It's the Lamp Theater Pittsburgh, I believe, or you can just look up Lamp Theater, and you should be able to get it. And then there's also Swine and Dine is going to be July 27th, their premiere of their short. That's going to be at Smod Castle Cinemas in New Jersey.
Owned by
Kevin
Kevin
Smith's.
Smith.
Yep, Kevin Smith's theater. So those tickets are going to be around, I think, $15 or $16, but it's only going to be a limited amount. They're only going to rent out one theater, and it's anywhere between 70 and 100. So I think their max is going to be 100. As far as renting the theater, they're also going to include a small drink and a small popcorn in that price. So, if you guys are in the area, the tickets, you can go on Facebook and look it up because I think he posted it in Facebook. It's actually Ron Black. If you can go on there and find his Facebook, he has it on there. And I think Chris Avellino, I think it is, that's his partner in crime. And he also probably advertised it on his as well, and it's probably advertised it on Instagram. So check that out if you can. Of course, we're going. I'm trying to rope Presto into this. But he's not sure.
Not sure yet.
What about the wife? Is she not sure?
Oh, she's not even home yet. I didn't even get to talk to her. She's volunteering at an animal shelter.
Okay. That's always fun and sad at the same time.
Yeah, she really enjoys it. Taking the dogs for walks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought there was one she really had her eye on, a husky named, I think his name was Zeus. And that was her favorite. But luckily for me, Zeus got adopted. So buys me a little bit more time. Yeah, but seems like when one gets adopted, she gets another favorite. So
that's how it works.
I know. I mean, I'm her favorite, so we'll just stick with that.
I don't know. They are cute.
They are. I'm just not ready right now, so.
Yeah. No, I get it. So we have 5, and unfortunately one is sick. So every day is one of those things where we're like, he's doing that, and then he has zoomies at the end of the night, and I'm like, what is going on with this cat?
Yeah.
Like 1 minute it is not okay, and then next minute, all of a sudden he's acting like he's a spring chicken, like a little kitten or something like that. So it's a very confusing time.
Yeah.
Just like adults.
Yes. So, all right, give me 1 second because I'm just gonna try and see if I don't see her back on yet. So I'm just trying to see if weird. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess we can start and then. Yeah, because I didn't get a message.
Yeah, let's start.
All right. So, we are doing Drop this week. If anybody knows, Drop came out a little while ago, but we kind of waited before we, decided to do a review so that we didn't give you too many spoilers, because there are a couple areas if we were to give you spoilers, it may ruin the movie for you, and we didn't want that to happen. Okay? So, as you know, Drop is basically a very small cast in this. It has, I want to say, 3 main and just a very small amount of supporting characters in this. I mean, there was like one person I recognized um in here, but I don't know, did anybody else recognize anybody from any other films that they saw
No.
offhand? I mean, we did see the guy kind of was giving off Bradley vibes. You know what I'm
Bradley
saying?
Cooper.
Yes.
He was pretty
Kind of,
charming.
yes. And his facial structure, the way he had his hair, kind of, giving off that look. So, um that was kind of interesting. Um but the actress, I don't remember her from anything else. The main character, but the other guy, which we really don't see the person dropping the the airdrops and stuff like that. We don't see him until later on in the film. I remember him from something. I just don't remember where. So kind of had to look that up.
Well, in the movie, his character, to me at least, he looked like if you ever watched the show Evil, he looked
Mm-hmm.
like the one character. His name was Leland. Like,
Yes.
kind of had the same vibe. So that's
Mm-hmm.
where at first I was like, "Oh, it's that guy," but then I looked it up and I was like, "It's not," but it could pass as him.
Yeah. So which one was he? Do you remember his name offhand?
Uh, the drop guy.
Yeah.
He was Richard, right?
Yeah, he was Richard, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Reed Diamond.
yes. So Richard, I don't know why this came up as just photos. So, but he is so for some odd reason it came up photos on IMDb without coming up with his whole entire, list. So it seems like he's been in a lot of TV series, and that's might be why. He was in Better Call Saul. He was in Orphan Black. He was in Law and Order, Organized Crime. He's been in Bosch Legacy. He was in what I remember him from is Leverage Redemption. He was Fletcher Maxwell. He played in 2 episodes. He is also in 13 Reasons Why. So he's done a lot of television series, including the Purge TV series, which I remember as well. So his face has been all over. So that's probably why we remember him. And not just for 1 or 2 episodes, for a good bit. He's had like 40 episodes in one, 8 episodes, 13 episodes in the Dollhouse. So yeah, I see why I remember his face. But that was the only one. Which I was kind of surprised that they would put a little bit of money into this and not have as many leads. So what did you guys think of there not being that many kind of familiar faces in this one?
I like it better. I like because you don't expect anything then. Like my expectations are lower because they didn't spend a budget on a big name actor or actress. So the fact that I didn't recognize anyone, I was like, okay, this is good. And then I went into it and like, yeah, I found myself liking some of the actors and actresses, but I actually preferred that I didn't recognize anybody because sometimes certain people are linked to certain type of films, like Will Ferrell. It's always a comedy for the most part, so you already go into it thinking something, where this, it was just like very open, and I didn't know what to expect, so I just enjoyed it and watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
so
agree for the fact that whenever you have lesser known actors or actresses, it becomes more about the story and what they bring to the story kind of thing. So you're less focused on maybe their previous library of movies or what you would normally expect their I guess personality to be as far as characters and such. So yeah, it draws you in, I think, a little bit more to some, or at least for me, it draws me in a little bit more, not having any preconceived, ideas or notions of what this particular performer will do, kind of thing.
anybody else?
Nope, I
Okay.
liked it. I didn't know any of the actors or actresses like when I started watching it, but I did end up liking who they chose for the roles. So they were good.
Okay. So yeah, I just, it's something that I know Fuzzy talked about when we kind of decided on doing a movie, which we've already named, um, and I already have proof of concept written already.
Mhm.
So I just got to do description of the characters and write the script. Not a lot to do, right?
Mhm.
So, but one of the things that we talked about was, of course, budget for us is more of a concern than this particular movie, which had a 11 million budget. By the way, it was $11 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
That seems like a really high budget for what they did in the film, I guess.
yeah, yes, I totally agree with that. I don't know if it was a lot spent on the location. I mean, they did recoup their money, not in the opening weekend, but they definitely did more worldwide than they did in the US and Canada. But, using people that don't have as much of a list of things that they've been in, a lot of work that they've done, they will cost less money, because everything could be a big break for them, right? So they're going to go for, you know, they're more willing to read the scripts than to talk about money first. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a benefit in this particular case. Is it risky? Yes. Um, Especially if you're looking at a particular vision. So I can see why they did it, but I will definitely tell you they made their money back. They took in almost 28.5 worldwide, 16.6 million was in the US and Canada. Their
Mhm.
opening weekend was about 7.4 million. So out of 11 million, they almost tripled it. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, is it earth shattering like Avatar? No. But I think they did a good job. What?
Oh, absolutely. I think they did a really, the production wise of how it was shot was really good. It
Mhm.
didn't feel, well, I guess 11 million isn't really low budget, but no, there wasn't any like cheesy special effects or anything. Like it was a very solid movie for the cast. I guess for us being unknown, other people may be fans or recognize them for more things, but for me, they were unknown. So
Mhm.
I guess I would say if you want a good thriller slash suspense that's not gory,
Mhm.
that you could just sit and enjoy, this is the movie. Like the opening scene is probably the most blood or gore you're gonna get in the whole movie, and then after that, kind of the mood kind of changes.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think for me, I think there was only really two places where there was, maybe a little bit that you might turn your head away if you felt like you have a weak stomach. Definitely at the end
Mhm.
with the bartender, and then the Piano Man. Those were the only ones that I could see somebody just kind of close her eyes a little bit, like, no, I don't want to see that. It's like, you know how when you see in a movie somebody breaks something and it starts protruding?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get a little twitch, right? Kind of thing. So, but other than that, this was definitely not gory or anything like that. And from what I'm hearing from Presto, that sounds like that was a plus for this movie.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need gore and violence all the time in movies. Lately, I feel like movies, some of them just kind of try to outdo the last one with the gore and violence. So then when you have a movie that doesn't need all the gore and violence, but still produces a good movie, it's refreshing and it's nice. Like
It
they
was
don't
more
have to.
suspenseful than anything else. Like, instead of being like horror or gory or bloody.
Yeah, there was a little mystery to it. Like it
Yeah.
was like who's airdropping this girl? Like why are they airdropping her? Like this girl, she just wants to get on with her life and date again, and now this is happening.
So let's talk about that because that's the whole main theme of this is that she's getting these weird airdrops. It's like, why would you airdrop me? I'm kind of a nobody, right? Um, so what was the beginning kind of like thought process of these airdrops?
Well, I think they thought in the movie. I thought kind of it was a joke or whatever. Like, I mean, this girl, the opening scene happens in the movie, and kind of leaves you at that point left to decide what happens or what happened, but then you find out later in the movie what happened. And she has a kid and single mother, and she's trying to date again, get out there. And in the opening scene, the kid was a baby, and now the kid was 7 or 8. So like she had a lot of time by herself, and it took her a while to like get over that and start dating again. So this is her first date. I assume it's her first date she's going on with this guy that she's been talking to for a couple months, and just wants to have a good time. And then she's getting these airdrops at dinner and not knowing really what to make of them.
So before we go on, because we're gonna give out spoilers, we always do, but I think what we want to kind of just to make the audience want to go watch this movie, I think, because I think it's worth it for people to still watch the movie. Why don't we agree not to um what would you say is something that we shouldn't tell them? What's something that you think we should stay away from? You can do like, middle of the movie, you could do like towards the end of the movie, a particular character, things like that.
I mean, I guess you kind of know what the theme is, or if you
Mhm.
watch the trailer, you know what it is, but you don't want to give away who is doing the airdropping
Yeah,
and why they're doing the airdropping.
makes sense. Yeah, I think we can agree
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. I think we can also agree on her final moves. I don't think we should let anybody know what her final moves are.
Fair. Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
it's pretty easy for me to steer away from, the person of guilt, because I was surprised. Maybe I didn't think that much into it when I was watching it, but it's not what I expected.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't see the actual person that's airdropping until really, really close to the end. So, and I don't even think they show it in the trailer, to be honest with you. I
No.
don't think they show in the trailer. So, I think we should definitely stay away from who it is, her final moves, and even some of the decoys, because there are, I want to say, at least about 4 decoys in this. 4 possible people besides the actual person that is the airdropper. So I don't think we should give those away either. So thinking about that, what spoilers can we give?
Well, I guess talking about her background and what brought her to this aspect, like the previous relationship and how that affected her, and also being in the profession that I guess she's in, kind of thing, giving herself her own I think Presto may mention earlier, like mental break kind of deal from it. That I guess we could go into that because that was like kind of like a strong theme in reference to.
Yeah, so what was her job?
Therapist.
Mhm.
Mhm. So that in itself could cause you to be in a situation just being a therapist. Right, Presto?
Yeah, my wife's a therapist, so I know all about it. And
The
it's
dangers.
yeah, it's it's interesting though because in the beginning when you see her job and she is doing her job, she's almost she's helping someone deal with the same thing she had to deal with.
Mhm.
Like, and it's one of those things where I'm sure we all been there when you're growing up and you're in a relationship and you break up and you're heartbroken or you're in a shitty relationship and like it's easy for or your friends in a shitty relationship and it's easy for you to be like, oh, you need to leave them and stuff, but like it's easy to say that, but then when you're put in that position it's hard to do it for
Yeah,
whatever reason.
yeah.
And I feel like that's how she was too. Like she could do her job, give all the good advice, but when it came for her doing that exact same thing, she struggled a little.
Well, it kind of sets her, kind of up a little bit in reference to why she's trying to have a relationship with this particular guy because he's also in a very kind of sticky situation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of, I wouldn't say in trouble with his boss, but he did something that caused him to kind of be giving advice to somebody else, but at the same time, he's in this situation because he can't get out of the situation that he is giving advice to somebody else about. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Just like in her circumstance. So they kind of share that connection. Do you believe that's why he doesn't leave the table as she's getting more weirder and weirder?
I
What's
think he's
in
willing to give
there?
her multiple chances just based on because I guess he identifies what she's going through to some extent. I guess within the months of them interacting on whatever dating app and stuff like that, I guess he kind of knew that this might be a big step for her. One, parting time away from her son, who she's you know definitely attached to, as well as just what she's going through in the past. So I think he was more willing to show patience, I guess, to kind of knowing or understanding some of her plight and stuff like that. So
He was a very understanding guy in the movie. Like, just thing after thing happened, and he would just be like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, let's sit back down. Yeah, all right, we'll do that. Like, I'm like, I'm trying to put myself in that position. I was like, all right, I'm an understanding dude. Like, I would give the benefit of the doubt, but then there were times where I was like, all right, even that might have been too much for me, where it'd be like, okay, you know what? Like, I don't know what's going on, but maybe we try one more time, but today's just not happening.
Yeah, he said that a couple of times. It's like, are you sure you want to be here? So Sadie, if
Yep.
you were in this situation, because it's been really, really long for me, and stuff because been with Buzzy for what 28 years almost. Is it
something like that.
28? Yeah, it's 28.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what dating is anymore.
Well,
Um,
and you think I do?
maybe a little bit. I don't know. Um, but realistically, because you're also the only single person here, and I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh,
Um,
thanks. Yeah.
would you have
Hi
gotten up?
guys. 36 female. Hi.
If you were the guy, would you have gotten up?
Like and left?
Yeah.
For sure. That was weird. Like I don't know how she sat through it. It made me awkward. Like I felt bad for them. But yeah, he's a trooper. He definitely stuck it out with her because I'd have probably been like, you know what, this just not feeling it. You're a weirdo. So
Yeah.
But each time, like, they were pretty believable scenarios that happened. Like,
I'm
or at
like,
least
why? Yeah.
she presented them as believable scenarios where, like, it wasn't something totally bogus where you're just like, oh my god, like this is I'm done. Like it was like, oh my kid, like Fuzz said, it's like my kid's used to this routine. Like please, I just got to do this, or hey, I just want to keep my phone here. My babysitter is my sister watching the kid. Like they may need me and stuff, and it's like, oh okay, like that's cool. And then some other things would happen, but I found them very believable. And then she wanted to switch tables and then got there and found out maybe not. So then they went back and she's like, oh, I was afraid of heights, let's switch tables. But then she was like, I got to conquer my fears. Let's go back. And it's like, okay, that was good. Like, women indecisive makes sense.
Oh, really?
Totally. Ask a girl what she wants to eat. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
I
know.
had that situation today, and I asked a Fuzzy what he wanted me to pick up for dinner, and he's like you can pick whatever you want.
Yeah, because we'll say something and you'll be like, no, I don't want that. You'll be like, hey,
Yep.
let's get pizza. And they'll be like, you girls will be like, no, I don't want that. It's like, okay, let's get Red Robin. You'll be like, no, I don't want that either. It's like, all right, do you want
You know what?
Wawa?
I'm not even gonna argue. I'm 100% that way. Like
Exactly.
please do not make me choose. Like I will throw up, like have a panic attack. Like
See? I'm not even lying. It's like
Mhm.
you girls don't want anything, but everything we suggest you don't want. I saw something online where it was like you take one of those when you were kids, you had that wheel where like you pulled the lever and it spun around and then like it laid on like old McDonald song or whatever.
the little like
Mhm.
seek and say or something.
Yeah, someone
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
that,
I
but
think
they
that's what it's
put
called.
restaurants instead on everything. So you just spun it and then it picked the restaurant for you. It's like that's where we're eating. Like genius. Because yes, us males, as I am with my wife, sometimes like, what do you want? So, I don't know. What do you want? And I'll be like, listen, I could find something no matter where you want. You're the picky
Mhm.
one. Like you tell me. It's like, what do you want? It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, like lost cause right here. Fuzz, am I wrong? This probably happens in
No,
your
no, you're not.
household.
No, you're not wrong at
Oh,
all.
really?
Well, here's the thing. Like, even though, yes, 28 years, I'm like, you already know what I want at any of the places you mentioned. So you pick the place and just get my usual. Like, I have a usual for pretty much any restaurant. And it just comes down to what she has a taste for at this point. Cause it's like, I don't even want to pick because it'll be one of two things. Either she'll change her mind at the last minute. Oh, I don't want Chick-fil-A today. I want something else. Or it will be one of those like weird moments where you go to Chick-fil-A and the line's wrapped around the parking lot 6 times or something, or go to Taco Bell and the refrigerator is busted so they can't sell anything that's refrigerated or something weird, or go to Subway, oh, they're out of
We had
bread.
that
Like, wait,
happen.
what? Yeah, and
We actually had that happen.
And
but
that's
it's
the
always
guy's fault somehow. Like we went over there, broke the freezer or something. Like,
I'm just saying, it happened at a Taco Bell in our local area.
yeah. So it's like I've come accustomed to having a specific meal for each restaurant. So whatever place she decides to eat, just pick me up my usual, and we'll be good. Don't even tell me what it is until you get here, because I used to be like, oh yeah, Chick-fil-A, and I got this taste for Chick-fil-A, lemonade, iced tea mix, and the waffle fries, and she's coming back with McDonald's. I was like, wait, what? I thought you said Chick-fil-A. Oh, the line was wrapped around 6 times. I went to McDonald's. I'm like, my taste buds are like yelling at me, like, what part of Chick-fil-A does this look like, kind of thing. So yeah, no, it's up to the ladies to decide, because we'll manage. Yeah.
So the last time we went to Taco Bell, we were actually leaving New Jersey HorrorCon, and we decided to get something to eat afterwards because we hadn't eaten that morning. And the thing about Fuzzy is that he'll eat pretty much anywhere. Almost. He's kind of, McDonald's is off the list right now, but the only thing is that if we take his car, he won't let me eat in the car.
Because he knows your ass is messy.
You, a grown ass woman, still can't eat in the car. I mean, I'll let my kids eat in my car, but I shouldn't either. I'm a mess.
If you saw her cup holders in her car, everybody would understand.
Let me finish, okay? So we go into Taco Bell, right? And I order some tacos, and he gets what he wants to get. And the lady was like, "Hey, do you want to eat in, or are you taking it out?" And I was like, "He won't let me eat in the car." So as we're walking out, I had stuff on my shirt.
That's why we can't take you women anywhere. You always drop food on yourselves.
Yeah. Guilty too.
That's why you go to that gothic themed restaurant. It's dark in there. You can't see all the food on your shirt when you leave.
Also, why we wear dark colors, can't really see anything. But I was wearing a light blue shirt that day, so yeah, that didn't work out for me. Getting back to things though, so yeah, we're in this situation where this woman's getting these airdrops, right? And I think we can describe a couple of things that are occurring with these airdrops, because they're getting wilder and wilder as it goes on. So originally she's just getting these random things about where to sit. Don't move. Go back. Otherwise, X, Y, and Z are going to happen. So which one do you think was the wildest request?
I mean, that'd be a spoiler, but I did appreciate the Undertaker AJ Styles meme. That one was pretty funny. I forget what that said, but just with the Undertaker standing behind him. I mean, each one got a little, like, the first couple were kind of innocent and was just kind of like, okay, what's going on? And then they pretty quickly got more serious, where it was like, oh. And I think once he told her to check video cameras at her house, that's when she really took it seriously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we can talk about the Piano Man, because I do believe there was a trailer with him in it. So she does ask for help. He says, "Don't ask for help. Don't let anybody know what's going on." But she makes that mistake, right? So
she tried being creative, yes.
Yes. It was actually pretty creative, was it not? So, anybody want to describe what she did, or you want me to tell them?
You can.
Okay. So, basically, she tries to get help from the Piano Man. And she decides that she's going to write with her lipstick or a lip liner or something like that on a 20 and then drop it in. She left again. And then she dropped it into his little fishbowl thing for his tip. He, on his break, read it, and she broke a cardinal rule. So when she broke this cardinal rule, he winds up. Remember when I said, there were a couple deaths in here? Um, in this particular case, he went for the subtle kind of situation where the piano man is starting to cough and everything like that. So her guilt, how do you feel in reference to what did that do to her that you feel kind of escalated the situation? I mean, she's in what kind of mode? She's in kind of like a panic mode, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah, she's trying to remain calm for her date, so he really doesn't expect much. She's trying to reach out for help without drawing attention there. She's trying to figure out who is airdropping. So like she has a lot of shit going on trying to keep all of her emotions in check. Like I don't know how she did it. I would be a mess.
well, here's the thing. We have this actress that's portraying this now. We don't know anything about her, barely seen anything with her, of her in anything, right? Um, which one was she? Was she Violet or was she Jen? Which can't remember.
I believe
Then
she was Violet. Jen, I think, was her sister.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Violet.
Yeah, yeah. So we're talking about the level that it would take. She's been in like 7 episodes of The White Lotus, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's a good show and stuff like that. But other than that, I haven't really seen her in anything that, you know, I'm familiar with. Um, and you guys said that you weren't familiar with her. She's been on TV and stuff like that. What do you, as far as what would you compare her to? What actress would you compare her to that you think would have been able to pull off what she pulled off in this movie?
Hmm.
Interesting.
I mean her acting and her
Mhm.
voice and even her face a little reminded me of Judy Greer, I believe
Okay.
her name is. Like that's who I like. How I said the other guy kind of reminded the guy from Evil Leland.
Mhm.
That's who she kind of reminded me of in some of the movies when she's blonde and stuff. Where I was just like, oh, okay, or no, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person. She was in that movie Blockers with John Cena,
Yeah, let me see. Blockers. 'Cause I don't think it was Judy Greer that you were thinking
or
of.
maybe it was Leslie Mann.
Now, Leslie
She's in
Mann,
Blockers.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's the
probably
blonde
Leslie
one.
Mann that you're thinking of.
Yeah, it's probably her then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Because
who
she's
she
one.
reminded me of.
Yeah, because she played in Knocked Up. She also played in.
Yeah. George of the Jungle.
Yep. This is 40. I mean, she's played in a lot of things all over the place, mainly comedies, but she's done a lot of comedy dramas as well. Like in George of the Jungle, she was trying to stay out of trouble with her husband in that one because of
Yeah.
Brenda Fraser looking so attractive. That was
Mhm.
that was interesting interview that she did. Um yeah. Anyway, but she's been in a lot of things. I has she ever been in a horror movie though?
I don't think so.
Leslie Mann.
Yeah.
She was in Knocked Up. I know that.
This is 40. I mean, she's in Paranormal as far as the voice. I wouldn't really say
Well, it's a
that's.
Disney movie.
I
40-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
No, I'd say
Um.
she's more comedy.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
comedy drama.
she's good. I like her.
But that's who you thought of whenever this particular actress was doing. You know,
Yeah, that's. I'll go with that for me.
what about anybody else?
I don't
I,
know. I don't really think I compared her with anybody.
Yeah, I didn't think of any other actresses or anything like that, or did any comparisons kind of thing. I think it tied into more of like with her being lesser known as far as movies I've seen and stuff like that. I just went along with the story at that point,
Yeah.
um, and didn't have like a reference point to compare or anything like
Mhm.
that, or didn't think of a reference to compare to.
Because I mean, sometimes we do that. Sometimes we're like, oh, I've seen this other person do that, and that's how sometimes we get confused as
Hmm.
far as we lost her again. Um, that's why we get confused in reference to mixing people up in various movies and stuff like that. Like when Presto was like, kind of reminded me of Judy Greer, but he was actually thinking about Leslie Mann. So I'm just trying to think because we do have situations where it's like there are actresses that look like other actresses and they get roles due to that. So I'm just thinking, was that kind of the situation? Because remember, I said that Bradley Cooper kind of did look like the the person that was in the lead male role. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering, is that why um she was an interest for this part? And if we're gonna see more of her, because she did a really fabulous job.
Hmm.
I mean, we could. It'd be. I'm not opposed to it. I don't think she did a really good job, but she didn't blow me away. That if she's in another movie coming out, I might not go out of my way to see it,
Hmm.
but I'll definitely like check it out and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like on streaming.
Yeah, or wait till it comes on streaming or something like that. I'd give it like 2 or 3 film. I'd say that 3 films for someone I don't know to be in like 3 movies where I'm like, okay, now I consider you on my list of like follow you and kind of if your name's attached to a movie, then check it out compared to
Hmm.
like just this movie checking it out and not having any attachment.
Well, I mean, so are we that type of individual that goes to see something just because somebody's in it?
Sometimes I am. I'll admit it. Yeah, I'm guilty of it. There's
Hmm.
some actors or actresses where if they're in it, I'll definitely get pumped and excited for it. Kind
Like
of
who?
like Will Ferrell. He's one of my favorite comedians. So if Will
Okay.
Ferrell's attached to a movie, I'm more than likely gonna go out of my way to see it.
Hmm.
Um,
You'll even see it if Kevin Hart is in it.
yeah, Get Hard. It worked. It had its moments and stuff. So yeah, there's definitely even like you could do the opposite where if it's a franchise, like it might not matter who's in the franchise, but
Hmm.
because it's a franchise, you'll go see it. Like when
Hmm.
they started redoing the Halloweens, like maybe if Jamie Lee
Yeah.
Curtis wasn't in it, I'd still
Hmm.
be really pumped and excited to see it. Scream, they didn't have Nev
Hmm.
Campbell in the one. It was like, oh shit, but I was still excited to see where this was going. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I
So
guess
you would
I'm
have
both
so you would have seen Elf 2 if they had made an Elf 2.
with Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
I would have at least watched it. Yes, I probably would have been angry because there's some movies where they're just so good that you just don't make a sequel, don't
Hmm.
recreate them, just leave
Hmm.
them as just
Hmm.
leave them as how they are. Like, and yeah, Will Ferrell was smart with that one where he was like, they offered him however much money, and it was just like,
Hmm.
no, I'm not gonna do this. Like, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Like, it could have been such an easy cash grab for him, but
Oh
Hmm.
it
yeah.
was just like, no, like this was perfect. Why do anything else?
Mhm.
Like,
Well, he definitely said that. He's like the script is not up to, the quality of the first one, and he just didn't want to kind of bother with it But they were throwing money at him. That is true.
Like the first one, I don't want to say it almost like came out of nowhere. Like, I mean, God, it's hard to believe it came out like 20 plus years ago already, like almost 25, because it's
Yeah.
just like shown all the time. Like now it's with
Yeah.
like Christmas Story, where it's just like shown 24 hours a day around Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I don't think you could get away with some of that stuff. The people's natural reactions, like back then, he was a, I would say when Elf came out, he was already an established actor. But like now, if you try to do Elf 2 with him in New York in an elf outfit, like he would get mobbed. Where back then it was like
Yeah.
some people might have realized it was him, but other people's just like, oh, there's a guy in an elf costume in New York. Whatever. Like they don't even bat an eye.
Well, it's New York. What do you
Yeah.
expect?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like it's normal, I guess, or
Yeah.
considered normal.
Well, I mean, you can see, Santa every single day in New York.
Among other things.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to talk about those other things. So yeah, I when I think about this movie, I'm just thinking, could it have been any better if we did have an A-lister in there?
No, I don't think so. Like if you would replace the guy with Bradley Cooper or even the lead with somebody else, I think the people they selected did a great enough job that throwing someone else in there wouldn't have made a difference. Now, the budget and with the money they made because people would see it because someone was in there would probably be greater, but for the acting purpose, like
Yeah.
and how the movie is, I don't feel maybe the guy that was doing the airdropping, maybe if like some guy that's known to be a villain or notorious or something for being a dick was that, then maybe.
But it would have given away the ending. You know what I'm saying?
That's true also. So it would have made it more, like
predictable.
Right, where it did not.
Yeah, I
You
don't
guys
think that.
were surprised at the ending.
Like when you find out who's doing the dropping. Yeah, I was surprised. Like I said, one of my good buddies, he's one that when he watches movies, he like dissects everything. He tries to figure stuff out right away. Like, and I go in there and I just try to shut off my brain and just go along for the ride and just enjoy it. Like there might be times where I'm like, oh, like I think it might be them or it might be him, but I don't like drive myself crazy over it. I mean, it was realistic where they were like even the guy was helping her out. Like, okay, well, if you're getting these airdrops, you can only airdrop within like 75 feet from each other. So it's someone in here. Like, so I definitely appreciated that he was trying to help out and they weren't like playing dumb where it's like, how could someone airdrop me when they don't have my number? And it's like, because anyone can airdrop you if it's turned on.
Yeah.
But
Fuzzy,
it would
can you look in private chat real quick?
Oh.
Go on, Presto.
I was gonna say it would be interesting though, or maybe there wouldn't be much of a movie if she just didn't have her airdrop turned on. Like if she didn't have her airdrop turned on, could there have been a movie?
No, I don't think so. That would have been weird. But there was a good reason why she had it on.
I don't remember.
Well, I mean, some of the technology when you start to mess with the apps and you mess with the internals of it, she wouldn't be able to access other parts, especially the video at her home. She wouldn't have been able to access, have full access to access her sister and everything like that, because, the reception wasn't all that great up there either. Because they are higher up. And, the elements do mess with the phones and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's good reason why she had it on, but at the same time, it would have been weird if she didn't, and that was the whole premise of the movie, for her to suddenly have it on for no reason.
Did you see the new Final Destination?
No, not yet.
So the intro of Final Destination reminds me a lot of this movie because they're both eating at a restaurant that's like high up.
Mhm.
Now, of course, one movie drop, they're eating high up. Final Destination, something probably happens without giving away any spoilers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, when I watched the Final Destination, I was like, oh shit, this reminds me of like Drop the Restaurant.
Yeah, I think if the Final Destination, I haven't seen it, but I remember in the trailer seeing the restaurant scene, or I guess it's like the Needle Tower or something like that type of restaurant. Yeah, if they had something like that going on in Drop, I think that would have spiced things up a good bit, but it would have probably taken away from the overall story. But yeah,
Trying to
I
get
was
airdrops
wondering.
while the restaurant's getting fucked up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be fun. That'd be like too much overload. That'd be like,
Yeah. No, but the actors and actresses that were in it, I think delivered a great story overall. I like how there were a bunch of decoys and how that played out, because I try to figure stuff out to some extent. I don't rack my brain too hard, but it's like if something's really standing out as obvious, it's like, come on, y'all could have done a better job than that. But this one kind of had you second guessing throughout, kind of deal
Mhm.
on who the target was or who the person may have been. But
now
yeah.
would you have liked more characters so you would have had more people to pick from? Or did you
Mhm.
like how it was a smaller cast? Like,
I like the smaller cast idea because it doesn't cause too much confusion. Like if it was like a whole prom class in that restaurant at the same time as opposed to like a small group, yeah, that would have probably been overload on. All right, well, who exactly in this group might be the individual, or if there was um, like a bunch of like speed dating couples or something like that in the restaurant, that would have probably been a bit much overload and things along those lines. But yeah, I like the smaller cast. It's easier to focus on. You kind of watch for things. Some of the decoys had guests coming up later, so it was like, well, would they really have all of this planned out and have somebody coming to meet them? And yeah, it definitely made it a bit trickier to really pinpoint. But yeah, having more cast would have just exacerbated that a good bit more. It would have made it like, yeah, you might as well do eeny, meeny, miny, mo at that point.
Yeah.
But I think it was good with the smaller cast, that more focused on the story, more focused on her movements. Like, how are they seeing her? Oh, oh, she tried to move here, and they still see what she's doing. Oh, they can see her in the bathroom. Well, not in the stalls or anything like that, but in the women's bathroom. It's like, oh, at the front desk they can see as well. It's like, man, you can't go anywhere. And you figure a restaurant isn't going to probably have that many cameras, but there were enough cameras where it you would have that amount of cameras in a restaurant, and somebody familiar, I guess, with that layout would definitely know which ones to look at and where they would
Mhm.
want to keep you, kind of thing. So to make sure you're not, going against what they're instructing you in the airdrops and stuff. So
Now the trailer did have her in the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
and everything. So was that an enticement when they put that part in there? Was that an enticement for y'all to watch?
Um, I can't remember what they showed in the trailer as far as the bathroom, but I do think it was one of those things where it's like, well, if the whole concept is like she's getting these drop messages and stuff like that, is it somebody that's in the bathroom with her, or are they going to eventually pop in the bathroom? Like it definitely made it. I guess you could say what should be an easier way to pick the villain kind of thing, a
Mhm.
bit trickier than what it turned out to be. Like they didn't have to necessarily go in the bathroom if they could, peek at the cameras that you can see the
Mhm.
screen at the front desk or behind the bar
Yeah.
or in the security office or something
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, also the thing about it was that it kind of creeped me out that there was a camera in the bathroom because there's not supposed to be.
well, it's in the common area, where you.
Well, it's not even supposed to be in the common area. I mean, um they've literally had court cases that involved even the outside not being
Mm,
monitored. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So, which people have won because of the angle that the angle at which the camera was able to see into the bathroom.
mm.
Um, so yeah, that in itself was kind of creepy to me that a restaurant would be able to do that, especially where were they at? San Francisco, New York, which one?
I don't even know. I don't think it was like I get the impression they were more like Chicago, or
Chicago.
something like that. So I
I
was
mean,
figuring
yeah, but
like Sears Tower Penthouse Restaurant. I don't even know if Sears
yeah.
Tower. Well, I know
I don't
they've
know. I don't
changed the
know.
name of it, but
I know, but it was giving me vibes for Seattle.
well, yeah, but I don't think it was like the Needle Restaurant or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
nobody
don't
Yeah.
wants
even
to
know
see
if
in the men's bathroom. It's like, yeah, I can understand in the women's
We don't need
bathroom, women
cameras in
being
the men's
creeped out
bathroom.
about that. But
We don't need cameras in the men's bathroom, trust me. Anyway.
what were you saying, Presto?
I was just saying I don't think it. I don't think it was a real location. I think it was built
Yeah.
for the movie. But yeah, like basically what you said, like Chicago or somewhere like that. I could imagine it taking place. But it was one of those movies where the place really didn't matter. It didn't need to
Right.
be said. Like nothing. If they said where it was at, it added nothing to the movie. But
Hmm.
by not saying it, it didn't take anything away from the movie.
Mhm. Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed.
So what would you say is your favorite part without giving too many spoilers away?
Hmm. Um, I guess I'll go with the house fight. Um,
Okay.
that you know that was probably the pent up action pack that a lot of people were kind of expecting, kind of thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was, I wouldn't say that a highlight, but that you know the brutality and
Mhm.
the son being kind of the
Don't.
sick. Well, yeah, you know it is what it is. But no, no spoilers. I'll just leave it at that.
What about you, Pressa?
Um, I guess I enjoyed all the creative ways she tried to get help
Hmm.
while still trying to remain calm and not throw everyone off or not be in a panic. There was at least one or two times where I think when she first was airdropped to check her security camera, that like if that happened to me, I would just lose it right there. Like I would just
Yeah.
not know what to do, but she composed herself very well. So just the way she held herself together during the whole movie, I'd say was just my favorite.
Uh, yeah, I think my favorite part was her trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like trying to figure out how to outsmart the individual.
yeah,
There were some repercussions from it. But, I mean, for example, we already discussed, the piano man. Um so I mean there were repercussions and stuff like that, but other than that, I mean, but it was a thriller, but at the same time it had horror elements. So, yeah. The one thing we did not discuss yet, which, I was hoping Sadie could have gotten back on, but it sounds like there's something with her phone. Um, is their waiter.
he was
Let's
fun.
discuss let's discuss him. So it was his first time being alone serving. How do you think he did?
That was Matt. I think his
Yes.
name was.
Yes. I believe so. I will double
I
check.
I think he did a good job. He kept it together with all the changes they were trying to make, and he had a little charm but comedy to him, like, oh, we
Mhm.
have this, this, and this, but this is very expensive, or so. Yeah, he was good. He added a nice little element without taking it over, I guess, or being too obnoxious or
Mhm.
dramatic or anything like that.
Fuzzy?
Definitely have had a waiter along those lines. Probably a little too excited for I guess the tone of the evening kind of thing. But yeah, it played well into uh, kind of like what Presto was saying with everybody or with all the changes and stuff like that. Like I think at some point most servers would have probably ghosted that table. Like, I'm not getting tipped. These mofos can't figure out if they're going to stay or leave or move from table to table. I got my boss to ask them and move the table, and now they're moving back. Like these people crazy. Like I could totally see that. Like, where did the waiter go? Oh, he's in the back somewhere, hiding behind a server den or something. I don't know. Just yeah, he would have definitely left those people alone because that high energy would have probably he would have realized that this isn't going to end well for him as far as tip wise. So he would have probably toned it down a good bit faster. But yeah, no, he definitely added the comedy relief to some extent, and
Mhm.
you know, I, I don't know. I was expecting um, some different things in that regard, but yeah, he was played the role perfectly on that.
Yeah, he had some times where it's like, um, yeah, he's thinking, yeah, this sounds crazy, but let's just see what happens.
See,
Um,
I wouldn't mind if they would have had like a known celebrity to be the waitress. Like I think
mhm,
that would have been okay for me if there would
mhm,
have been, because I think that would have been a nice, like, I don't want to say Easter egg or whatever, but it would have been like,
yeah,
okay, it's not going to overtake the movie, but it's like, oh, that's
mhm,
cool. Like they got this person to be the
yeah,
waitress kind of thing.
like a little cameo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he was kind of fun. I mean, of course, he's playing flamboyant a little bit. Um, which is, from what I understand, kind of typical of his characters in the past. I mean, he's been on RuPaul's game show.
Okay.
He's done Gay Skit Happens. So
Uh,
Throwing Shade is another TV series he was in. So I mean, I think he's familiar and comfortable with kind of playing that character.
or
Um,
that's just him.
or
Yeah.
well, I mean, you still even if you're playing yourself, you're still got to be a little bit more dramatic than your normal self, just a little bit, right? Hopefully, because I couldn't imagine him being that way, kind of in real life. Because sometimes it was a little over the top. He was kind of very talkative when he should have been less talkative as a server, especially on his first kind of solo um, bit and everything.
We all been there. We could all be a
Yeah.
little over the top.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I don't think he's never been a server before, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of actresses and actors um are servers or bartenders, or do something that has a flexible schedule and it's not kind of a day job or whatever. Some people I know have day jobs that do it, but they're more independent movie compared to a bigger $11 million budget kind of movie.
Hmm.
So I mean, we aren't talking about zombie strippers here, but yeah. Always got to talk about zombie strippers, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Always got to work it in. So what would you guys rate this?
Hmm.
I think I'd rate this. This one's a little tricky because it's not like a movie that's gonna blow you away by any means. Where it's just like, oh my god, that was such a good movie. Like, but at the same time, it was a movie that I really enjoyed. So I would say it's probably a 7.5. I would give it. I think I
Okay.
watched it 3 times. So like, I watched it before we picked this, and
Mm-hmm.
then I watched it because I wanted to make sure nothing was disgusting for my wife. So then we watched it together, and then I recently watched it again to, you know, be familiar with it again. And I didn't find myself like, oh man, like I gotta watch this again. I was just like, okay, like kind of see if you could pick up on some things that maybe you noticed the first 2 times and little uh things that the characters are doing that it's like, oh, was that a hint that I didn't pick up on?
Mhm.
So I'd give it a 7.5. I really enjoyed it. But it's not going to win any Oscars or anything by any means. So it's
Mhm.
one of those movies I feel where it's like a really good movie,
Mhm.
but like I don't want them making a sequel or anything. Like that wouldn't be good.
What
Yeah,
about you, Fuzzy?
I probably gave this a bit of a higher score, but then again, that was I put my score on IMDb back after we watched it in the theater, kind of thing. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. Because uh, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't really expecting much out of this. The trailer looked interesting, but it was like the lead up and everything. Nothing was like, oh, this is stupid or oh, this is foolish. So it's one of those movies that I can definitely see myself rewatching at some point. And I'm not a big fan of rewatching movies, just the rewatching kind of thing. But the story was believable. Um, with certain exaggerations, obviously, but it didn't come across as like completely made up without you know some sort of grounded in reality kind of thing. And I kind of like those types of thrillers more where it's like it's not a supernatural thing or it's not like something above and beyond what somebody would be able to do, like, oh well, this person's an elite hacker and they hack their phone. No, this is something that I can see kind of especially if this was Chicago, I could definitely see something like this happening or being staged or set up or something like that. But yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Recommend for fans of thrillers, yeah, this is. I would say this is a decent one, a modern or recent decent one to watch. Definitely add it to your playlist.
I agree with you about your nothing obnoxious happened where it was like so out there where you're just like, holy shit, like how that's not even possible. Like it all was very believable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I would go in that range between 7 and 8, as well, depending on who is going to be watching this. This is a mystery kind of thriller. Um, so if I'm having somebody that normally doesn't watch things like this, I would still recommend it and everything. Do I think they're going to come out with the same 8 kind of rating that I would? Probably not. But somebody that's really into this, I would definitely say it's a much must watch for them. Um, do I think that it's kind of rewatchable? It's rewatchable if you're watching it for an intended purpose. Like Presto said, he watched it once to make sure it was something his wife would have been okay watching, and then he watched it with her, and then he watched it again for the podcast. Um, but just to rewatch it, I don't think after knowing everything that you could just sit down and just rewatch it because you know everything. It's like a Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, but you could also say that about horror movies, like in Scream. Like you watch it at the end, you know who the killer is, but
Well, Scream's
you
different.
I was just using that one as example as
Yeah,
like you know what's gonna happen, but
yeah.
you know who the killer is, but you'll still watch it again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you watch it because of the reactions from the characters, and also because you like the characters, and also because of the various killings, whereas this didn't have that. I mean, yeah, there were some great gestures and stuff like that. I might rewatch the clips of Matt doing his thing. Or even what's going on with the piano man, because he is trying to flirt with her and doing a very poor job of it. Um,
I mean, that piano
that
man is probably just the guy that plays piano at the restaurant that wanted to be in a band, didn't make it, so he just tries to hook up with like married women or women that
uh,
are coming to that restaurant. So
yeah,
he's
yeah,
like the sleazeball, I guess.
yes. You know, I mean, stuff like that I would probably watch, but to sit down and watch the whole entire thing, I don't think that I could do it without an intended purpose, because I know the mystery, I know what happened, everything like that. Um, but it's still a good watch. It's still something that you should put on your list to watch. So yeah. Anything else?
I'm trying to think. No, but I'm glad we didn't spoil anything this go around.
I think with doing mystery thriller type stuff, I mean a thriller thing that it's not like a thriller that doesn't have like a huge kind of spoiler. In this case, there were multiple spoilers in this case, but um, I think we could get away with it being a thriller and us talking about it and people still wanting to see it because there's no real mystery. They probably gave you most of it in the trailer anyway. But in
Yeah.
this case, a lot wasn't given to you in the trailer. And I think that's why we should keep it a mystery.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to give the ending away for a Night Shyamalan movie either. I think sometimes he does by telling people what the concept is, what the theme is to his. Because I know with not The Village, I mean The Village was another one, but what was the one with the grandparents?
The grandparents?
Yeah, I remember the grandparents.
Well, you had The Happening, you had The Village, you had Lady in the Water, you had Signs, you had.
Yeah, I don't remember the grandparents one that you're talking about.
Yeah. So, I mean, here we go. I don't know if a lot of
Old,
people watched it.
you had Old, Knock at the Cabin. Devil was pretty good. The
Yeah.
Others, is that it?
No. Mm-mm. Let me get it. Let me get it real quick. Let's see. Let's see. No, it wasn't Old. I saw Old. I mean, I thought it was a good movie. I just don't necessarily think a lot of the people. I think a lot of the people. I could see why they thought the ending was not all that great in Old. Um, I mean, I liked it, but I can see why some people were mad. It's called The Visit. Yeah,
Oh,
did you guys see it?
no.
No.
I feel like
No.
with him, he, I think he did Unbreakable and then Signs, The Village, like, and you just got accustomed to, like, having this crazy twist where if it wasn't really crazy
Mm-hmm.
or met your expectation, you just kind of assumed the movie sucks. It's like, well, that wasn't. There was
Yeah.
no crazy twist there, or like The Sixth Sense,
Mm-hmm.
like that one when he
Mm-hmm.
found out what happened, it's like, oh damn, like that makes total sense now.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean The Village, it 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 was a fairy tale. It was based off of a fairy tale. But so was The Visit. And let's just go out there. Two siblings become increasingly frightened by their grandparents' disturbing behavior while visiting them on vacation. Which children's story does that kind of lean towards? What
Hansel
kind
and
of grim?
Gretel.
Yep, Hansel and Gretel. Yeah. And there were in his movie, there were things that were in there were strong like um scenes that matched up with Hansel and Gretel.
Well,
So
I
it
didn't
wasn't,
see it, so I wouldn't know.
yeah, I mean I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm not saying that he didn't have elements of horror in there and stuff like that, but we all knew what the mystery was as soon as we read the synopsis.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised. That was only a $5 million budget. Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah. Did you know he actually wrote Stuart Little? He wrote the
no.
screenplay for Stuart Little about the mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was interesting.
I guess there wasn't a twist to turn it into a movie for
No,
himself.
they had movies of it.
No,
He
I
did.
know, but he didn't want to do it since it didn't have a twist.
Well, yeah, he didn't want to do it because it didn't have a twist. That is true. Yeah, but no, I was just surprised when I saw that. So yeah, he also did. He also was he the one was yeah he did the last Airbender. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting too. You know, he recently got somebody tried to sue him over the show Servant.
Nope.
Yeah, they tried to sue him, saying that it was based off he based Servant off of somebody else's script, which the courts disagreed with that person. So he's allowed to continue on with Servant if anybody likes Servant. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting too. So, what is this? Remember to drink water and stay hydrated, everyone.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
hot out. He's looking
It's
out
hot
for
out.
us.
it's always
I'm
great
always in,
advice.
I'm always in the air conditioning, just like Fuzzy is.
No need to brag to everyone now. Maybe some people don't have the luxury to work in the air conditioner, or maybe they do landscaping or something.
True.
It is really cold in my room. I had a kid that made the mistake. I tell the kids all the time, look, bring a sweatshirt or something like that. Bring like sweatpants if you want. Keep them in my room because it gets really, really cold in my room. Because I have two vents. I have a big room and I have two vents in it. And I tell the kids all the time, right? This kid is trying to pull his t-shirt over his knees because he keeps on complaining that it's cold. And he goes, "Do you have control over the thermostat?" And I said, "Absolutely not."
I
He was
remember
not
doing
happy.
that hoodie thing, the hoodie trick
Yeah,
over the knees.
Yeah.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
old days.
Unfortunately, it was only his t-shirt because he didn't bring a hoodie like I had told everybody. So yeah,
Well, it happens.
yeah.
Hey, they only got a couple more days before the school year ends, so
Oh no, but so I'm not going to be there on the 9th and 10th. The last day is the 11th, and this is how my school works. So every school is different. Well, every district is different, but we have it where we have 3 days for exams, and out of the 3 days, we have one regular day, and then we have 2 days. Well, we used to have one regular day and three half days, right? So we go block 1 or block 5. He would do either block 1 and block 5 or block 5 on the regular day, and we would adjust the schedule for the kids to have almost 2 hours for that block and shorten periods for the rest of it. And then on the half days, we would split the time between only 2 of the classes, right? So, and then we would have a makeup day where the kids don't have to come in unless they have to do an exam or their teacher told them, you have a lot of work for me if you want to pass this class. Or they get their breakfast and their lunch there because some kids just, they don't have money like that. So, I tell them all the time, don't come in unless you, for one of those 3 reasons, right? So we always have those random kids that think, "Oh no, I want to be wandering around the school because it's kind of like ghost school at that point." And those kids wind up getting suspended.
Couple of peckerheads.
Oh, we get they get really inventive too because they try to top each other every year. So we've had a couple of students try and set fire. Well, two of them actually did set fire to the trash can in the boys' bathroom. So now we lock the bathrooms. So some of them decided they were going to vape in certain people's classrooms, which happened to me this year. First time ever a kid vaped in my room. We had one time I'm walking by, and at the top of the stairwell, they are playing Let's Spin My Friend. And they literally have the kid in the air like, Jennifer Grey was with Patrick Swayze and trying to literally spin them at the top of the stairs.
oh,
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so they got suspended for that. Yeah, they get really inventive every year trying to top each other. From the previous year, two of the kids were trying to play cowboys and Indians.
They're in high
Um,
school, right?
yes, and that was actually one of the seniors trying to do that. Yeah, they
Hmm.
were literally hiding. They would go through the double doors and they would try and hide and open the double door and try and shoot with the fake finger guns. Yes, that was interesting that year. So yeah. Yeah. So this is what it's like, but this year we had different because this year we had A and B schedule. So if anybody knows what an A and B schedule is, I know Fuzzy's familiar with it, where they go every other day to certain classes. And then that's matched up with another class that they go to at the same time on the day they don't go to the first class. So, for example, science and social studies we pair together, and math and English we pair together. The four subjects you should have all year, right? No, they come to us every other day for the whole year. So we figured out that the half day situation wasn't going to work. So we have a week and a half of finals now. Yes. That's been interesting because I have kids coming to me for a second or third time in that week that I don't have anything to give them to do because they've already done all of their work and they've already done their final. So you can imagine what that's been like for me this week. Talk about a horror movie. Yes. So that's how my week has been going. So I'm not going to be there on the 9th and 10th. So what happens now is that Monday, most kids will not be there because they're already done their exams. Because why would you give the underclassmen and the juniors and stuff like that? Why would you give them separate days for exams? That wouldn't make any sense. So most of them already have their exams done, and then the makeup exam day, we tell them not to come, and then the last day is actually only about not even 3 hours. So if they come, they're more likely to get suspended. So we tell them not to come. So if you've ever imagined trying to corral 20 students throughout the whole entire building, yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. Sending out search parties. So yeah, I'm going to miss most of that though. Right, Fuzzy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting being a teacher, right? Not really?
Not for me. No, no.
Not for
I
you?
couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it?
Parents would be complaining that I'm yelling at their kids and yelling at them. So yeah, no, thanks.
Yeah, they don't like me either. So Fuzzy, did we ever tell them what your interaction was with my students?
No. Oh, you
So
mean for like the school trips and stuff? Being a
yeah,
student?
yeah.
I don't think we have, but like for the most part, I'm like a non-staff chaperone, so that
Mhm.
way they don't have to have as many teachers out, I guess, for the
Mhm.
trips and
Yeah,
stuff. But
yeah. So last year we went on a field trip, and for some odd reason, two of my kids wanted to all of a sudden that were friends wanted to have an argument, and it was over being called a name, and I kept on telling the kids stop calling them that for a few months. I was like, "Come on, stop doing it." Wrote them up, all that kind of stuff. And it just right before the field trip, these two get into it and they're out in the hallway. And Fuzzy's stuck in the room with the sub. And while I'm out there taking care of this, one of my students was like, "Hey, aren't you gonna go help her?" And Fuzzy's like, "No, she knows she can do her job. She knows how to do it." And the girl says, "Oh, I know who wears the pants in this relationship."
mm,
Yeah, they're funny, they're bold, right? So, anybody else doing anything? You know what I'm doing.
yeah, we're just going to Ohio. So
Well,
Presto,
yeah,
anything
besides
planned for
that,
this weekend or for the upcoming week?
presto.
Uh, this weekend, no. This weekend, I'm trying to do something I normally never do and just stay home and chill. So we'll see if that actually happens or not. I'm not good at it. Usually, I always just end up doing stuff and going places, and I'm really trying to just stay home this weekend. So fingers crossed. I think it's supposed to rain most of the weekend, so maybe that'll make it easier.
So, when's the next horror con?
Uh, would that be Monster Mania?
Well, Monster Mania is in August. They have the sideshow in July for New Jersey Horror Con. Tidewater's not until September. I think there's another one for New Jersey Horror Con in September.
There is end of June in White Plains, New York.
Hmm.
There's a convention, and R.L. Stein got announced there, the writer of Goosebumps. So that's pretty cool. If you're into Goosebumps, I love Goosebumps, but I don't think I'm going.
No.
So yeah, it's like they give us the conventions in March and April, and
Hmm.
then it almost seems like a little in May, and then like June, July are kind of like a little bit of recoup time, and then August gets one, September really doesn't, then November, and yeah, so they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Give you just enough to recoup to do another one.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I think I think I'm gonna just do movies now. There's actually one in Pittsburgh. It's not a horror movie though, but there's one in Pittsburgh that I can't remember who's in it. The only one I can remember is Zoe Kravitz. But there's two other actors in it that they were talking about, and they need background people.
That's a drive.
It is a drive. It is a drive. I mean, they're gonna pay, and there's also the Milton Hershey one. That one's going into August. That one's paying as well. It's non-union, so if you want to do union work, this is not it. Um, there's another one I heard about that they're trying to go for leads, and I think it's definitely non-union and again low pay. So you're not making thousands of dollars on it, but they're leads. So if you want to get into acting and stuff like that,
I know my
so
worth.
you know your worth.
I know my worth.
If you just want to have fun, they're perfect opportunities. Yeah.
The movie Queens of the Dead, the one we were extras
Hmm.
in, that premieres next or this week, I think, this weekend in New York.
Yeah.
So that'll be
Yeah.
exciting once we actually get the chance to see it, see if we
Yeah.
made the cut or not.
I think it's coming out in July, or is it August worldwide?
I can't remember.
I
I
think it's
thought it was.
July.
I thought the premiere was like October or something.
No, they were gonna try and get it either for a Halloween release or they were gonna try and get it before then. They weren't sure. But I honestly think it's supposed to be released in July. So
That'd be good
initial
then.
re- initial release is actually June 7th. It says.
Okay, so tomorrow.
Yeah. And then let me see. Yeah, it just says the initial release. Let me see if I can see go in here. No, I don't want that. Let me see. Dun, 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 dun. Where are the other things? Here we go. Mm-mm-mm. Overview. Status completed. Mm, mm, yeah. Yeah, it just says they did it in New Jersey. Let me see here. Details. Uh, there's yeah, I think they took it down.
Maybe it's delayed.
No, I don't think it's delayed. I just think being on my phone is not helping. So let me see.
Well, the fact that it's done and premiering tomorrow is a good sign. So,
but I don't know if I can't see if we're in it though.
well, that's why we have to see the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out when it's coming out. Now the July 19th. That's when it is. I think. No, that was the other movie. I'll find it. Oh, Toxic Avenger is coming out. Did you guys see the trailer?
No, I'm still waiting on the game.
That one I think is coming out. I want to say August. Now that one definitely lists on IMDb. So I'll write all this up because I know some people are waiting for the Toxic Avenger, the new one. The trailer is up on IMDb. If anybody wants to view it, but it is coming out August 29th. August 29th. This year. Let me see if I can see it on here.
I mean, that movie premiered like 2 years ago, and then reason.
They were trying to find distribution because actually release date is tomorrow.
Man, you're telling lies to everything. I can't take it.
No. June
Are you
7th,
using AI? Is AI hallucinating again?
Listen. June 7th, they are releasing it at Tribeca Film Festival. That counts as a release. And then June 13th, they're viewing it at the Provincetown International Film Festival. But the world release, I could have swore they said was either in October or September.
It's August, end of August.
Yes, end of August. Yes. But it is, they're starting to see to send it out. Here's the thing. The Toxic Avenger, the new one, was not produced or linked to Trauma. And because of that, Trauma was not going to buy it so that they could do it. So they had to find a different distributor to do it. That's why. And I think it was Cineverse is the one that is the distributor. They're the same one that did Terrifier 3.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, because Lloyd Kaufman was not going to purchase something. I mean, he was a producer, but I don't think he wanted to have it distributed through his own, because I guess because of all the actors that are in it, he wanted a more wide audience and everything, because he's doing a tour right now with his other independent films that he purchased that other people made. So that's where we're at with that one.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Ready for outros?
Yeah. Put up who has Presto's Instagram?
Fuzz does.
I think I do.
Did you put it up?
Not yet. Hold on.
Give him a second. Poor guy.
He didn't even see it.
I did see it.
I don't.
But I saw it, and I have like multiple tabs. So
Fuzz,
give me a minute.
I appreciate you. Don't you worry. So yeah, then I guess this weekend I'm laying low, maybe doing some house stuff, and kicking back. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining. If there's any movies you recommend, leave them in the comments because I'm always looking for new movies. I'm the guy that has all the streaming platforms and can never find anything, and then I just turn on the Food Network. So I, I'm always
Why?
down for recommendations.
Why the Food Network?
Because Triple D, it's just like a good comfort show. Like it's
Oh,
just, he shows you how to make food. Show you how to make food. It's delicious. You're not eating it. Or you
okay.
watch Border Wars, where you try to watch everyone smuggling drugs and get caught.
Okay.
Those are my go-tos.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What about you, Fuzzy?
Well, for the most part, these next few weeks is going to be all gaming related, other than the trip to Ohio and stuff like that. But we got the Xbox showcase on Sunday. There was the Summer Games Fest show earlier today. Earlier the week, they had the State of Play for PlayStation. Nintendo released the Switch. There's like the PC and the Future Game Show. I think tomorrow, and there's going to be Ubisoft, I think, at the PC one or something like that. So if you're into gaming, keep an eye on YouTube. There's plenty of stuff coming out between now and the holidays and stuff that they'll show some new trailers for some games. I mean, there's even a Wu-Tang game, Rise of the Deceivers. I think finally got to see that. Looks pretty cool. But there's so much coming out over these next few weeks and things. But other than that, you can find me on social media, Fuzzy_Belvedere on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, I think Threads because they make it automatically for you. And that's pretty much it. And YouTube. I'll be on some podcasts and stuff because podcast season is starting up again with the game releases this summer. So that's about it. What about you, Fee?
So I'm going to Ohio. I appreciate you guys listening to my ramblings about teaching. I know they're not as interesting, but I have a very stressful job. So, besides that, I don't know if I'm going to sign up for that background role for that action sports movie. I don't know if I want to terrify Fuzzy about another field trip to Pittsburgh. How would you feel about that, Fuzzy?
I thought July was the month off, but
I don't know. We can go in August. I mean, they're filming a lot.
we
over the
already
next couple
got stuff
months.
to go to in August. Like, slow
Yeah,
down.
we'll actually be up there.
At the same time,
Yeah.
a multi-stop trip. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the world premiere for Grind, and also just taking a day trip down to Jersey to see Swine and Dine. I mean, I already saw it, but yeah, I want to see it fully done because I saw a uncut in the works kind of film. So yeah, but other than that, I'm not sure what other stuff we will get into, but I'm sure I will take Fuzzy on multiple trips somewhere. Have him kicking and screaming the whole way.
We'll see.
But that is it. We are a little bit over time, but appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everybody. And watch drop. Bye.
Bye.
Later.